All right, let's dive in. We're going to talk about something pretty incredible today. A full-blown high-tech revolution that's happening, of all places, right inside our mouths. You know the whole process of straightening teeth? It's turning from an art into a hard science, and it's being supercharged by data, 3D imaging, and a whole lot of AI. I mean, just hearing the word braces probably brings back some very vivid memories for a lot of us, right? That feeling of metal, the endless appointments for tightening things, and oh yeah, that tray of gooey, unforgettable impression stuff. It was kind of like a rite of passage. But you have to wonder, was it really the best way to do things? And that one question is what kicked off this whole technological wave. So to really get where we're going, we've got to first understand where we've been. Let's take a quick look at the classic orthodontic journey. A process that, it got the job done, but it was just filled with these little pain points that were basically begging for a smarter solution. Yes, the three horsemen of the old school orthodontic experience. First, the goop, that cold, messy stuff they'd shove in your mouth that always felt like it was about to go down your throat. Then, the wires, the sharp metal that seemed to need constant and, let's be honest, pretty uncomfortable tightening. And finally, the wait. Just months and months, sometimes years, with only a fuzzy idea of what you'd look like at the end. It was a process built way more on patience than on precision. And this really gets to the heart of the old problems. It all started with those messy molds, which could be inaccurate. The whole treatment depended on lots of manual tweaks, based mostly on the orthodontist's gut feeling and experience. And because you couldn't really see the final result ahead of time, the entire journey felt long, inefficient, and honestly, a little frustrating. Okay, so how do you fix all that? Well, the very first step was simple. Get rid of the goop. The whole revolution really kicks off by creating a perfect, data-rich digital copy of your mouth. Think of it as your own personal digital dental twin. And the key piece of technology here is the intraoral scanner. It's this small handheld wand that your orthodontist just kind of waves around your mouth. In less than a minute, a device like the Dentsply Sirona Prime Scan can grab a hyper-accurate, full-color 3D model of every nook and cranny. No goop, no gagging, no mess. Just pure, clean data. This completely flips the script on that first appointment. The whole workflow becomes unbelievably smooth. You walk in, get a quick 3D scan, and immediately AI algorithms start crunching the numbers on that digital model. But here's the real kicker for the patient. You get to see a simulation of your brand new smile before a single thing has even been done. It takes a moment that used to be full of uncertainty and turns it into one of pure excitement. So getting all that data is one thing, but what you do with it, that's where the real magic happens. This is where AI comes in. Not just as a helper, but as the master architect designing your entire treatment from start to finish. And look, this isn't some far-off, futuristic idea. It's a documented reality. A recent study in the Dentistry Journal points out that AI isn't about replacing the orthodontist. It's about giving them a superpower, the ability to create these incredibly personalized treatment plans that are backed by huge amounts of data. So how good is this AI architect? Well, according to a major analysis, the overall accuracy of AI-based treatment planning is over 95%. That level of precision it was impossible with the old methods that relied on guesswork and manual adjustments. And this, right here, shows you the real-world benefit of all that accuracy. Because the plan is so incredibly precise from day one, the treatment itself just becomes way more efficient. We're talking, on average, patients getting their braces off over 4 months faster than with the old ways. That is a massive difference. So how does it work? Well, the AI doesn't just plan for the final result, it maps out the entire journey, step by step. It analyzes thousands of other cases and then predicts the exact amount of force needed to move each individual tooth at every single stage of the treatment. It's a level of micromanagement that totally eliminates guesswork and just maximizes efficiency. Okay, so the next wave of innovation is all about cutting the cord to the clinic. I mean, if the plan is totally digital and you can track progress with data, do you really need to be sitting in that chair every few weeks? The answer, more and more, is no. And the data on this is crystal clear. As you can see here, conventional treatment takes, on average, almost 13 in-person visits. But with AI monitoring your progress from afar, that number drops significantly. That means less time off from work, less time out of school, just way more convenient for everybody. And here's how that whole process works in real life. You, the patient, just use a simple smartphone app to scan your teeth at home.
That scan gets sent to the cloud, where an AI analyzes it to see if everything's on track. If there's even a tiny issue, your orthodontist gets an alert right away. This completely changes the game, turning routine checkups into this continuous, data-driven conversation.
Now, as you'd expect with any huge technological shift, the transition isn't totally seamless. There are still some very real-world challenges to getting all of this adopted. But the cool part is, the industry is already coming up with some pretty clever solutions to get over those hurdles. This slide lays out the whole landscape perfectly. On one hand, you have the challenges. The upfront cost for all this new gear is high, but new equipment as a service models are turning that big cost into a more manageable monthly fee. And yeah, it's a big change to the workflow and staff needs new training, but cloud-based platforms and subscription packages that bundle in training and support are really smoothing out that transition. And that training gap is a really big deal. This data is pretty stark. Almost 3/4 of recent dental graduates say they didn't get comprehensive training on these new digital systems. It just goes to show you, there's a huge need for the education system to catch up to the technology that's already out there reshaping the profession. So, all of this, it leads to a much bigger question. Orthodontics is basically creating this powerful blueprint for other areas of medicine. We're seeing a shift away from reactive, in-person appointments to proactive, data-driven care that can be managed from anywhere. So think about it. If an AI can map the movement of a single tooth down to a fraction of a millimeter, what could it do for managing diabetes, or monitoring a heart condition, or personalizing physical therapy? The AI smile? It might just be the very beginning of a much, much bigger transformation for all of us.